Okay, you may be on holiday, but cyber criminals definitely are not. In fact, they're very busy, busier than Santa's elves this time of year with the festive season. Criminals finding new and innovative ways to get their hands on your hard-earned cash. And cyber expert and SaveTNet founder Rianette Leibowitz joining us. Rianette, good morning to you, and thanks for your time. I imagine the problem with the cyber crimes this time of year is they're getting smarter and smarter, and they're moving faster and faster than we could ever expect them to. We just don't know what they're coming up with next.
Oh, totally. I mean, they know this is the peak season for people to shop online and to be away from home. And this is where we have to be extra careful. And they are experts in what they do.
Let's talk about what some of these so-called experts are doing to take away all our money, skim our cards, and et cetera, et cetera. What's the one that's standing out for you at the moment that we all need to be aware of?
Well, there's definitely the financial side of it and the online transactions and the fact that we need to look after our money and our belongings. But then there's also the people factor. We need to consider our own safety and especially the children and how we are exposing them online. One thing that stands out when it comes to online shopping is, of course, people become so used to shopping online, and thank goodness we have that option, right? But we have to be always on the lookout of how we share our personal information and our credit card details. For instance, one thing that we could consider is not to save our details on those platforms or those shopping centers, online shopping centers, because, and I know it's a bit of a hassle to go and retype it every time, but at least it's not saved into that database. Another big thing is, of course, part of the fake news, scams and phishing and all those types of criminal activity is the fact that we can either win the lotto or you've won a prize and we just want you to share your contact details or your banking details. All of those things we need to look out for.
Yeah, absolutely. You've won the lotto, the US lottery and the European lottery all in the same week. What a week it is to be Gareth Edwards as well. Here's the problem that we've got, though, because when you do online shopping, you've saved your credit card details. It's saved your CVV number, whether it's ordering something like furniture or even just everyday grocery shopping. We can't make those transactions, Rianette, unless we give those details. How do we get around that? Or is a situation like that more secure when it comes to giving our credit card details out?
Well, yes, we need to give all those information, the details out, but you don't need to save your details on that platform, number one. Number two, two-factor authentication, and I'm thankful for the banking institutions, financial institutions, which will give you that WhatsApp or that SMS at least to give you the, so that you can authorize the transaction. And those are all these little steps and gates that have been put in place for us to make sure that if someone does get hold of your credit card details and tries to use it, at least they can't verify it. So those are the types of things we need to make sure that we've got in place.
You mentioned just before we started, as a final question to you, Rianette, you mentioned obviously cybercrime. We're talking about that here with defrauding of credit cards and taking people's money. But you also mentioned the people aspect of this as well. Do you want to unpack that for me before I say goodbye?
Yes, I think as people, we need to, in this new year, take the opportunity to really take control of our cyber well-being and look at how do we expose ourselves and our children, the people that we expose ourselves to, the content, and then, of course, the risk by one term is sharenting as parents, not to share too much information about our children that could put them in harm's way, and really just looking at how do we first of all, expose ourselves and what do we share online? Are we the fake news spreaders or are we the ones that take control and say, listen, let me rather be a responsible digital citizen, think about what I share online, how I am exposing myself, my family, and what am I sharing with other people that could put them at risk. So we can definitely take more control of our cyber wellness. And really, just a quick tip. The new year coming along, it gives us an opportunity to look at our password settings, have digital-free dinners, connect more with each other, and really just stay in control of our technology.